Each person has up to 3 minutes to provide remarks. We'll take public comment in person, and we'll take public comment by phone. I'll give that phone number right now so people can have that at the ready, but please do not call just yet. That phone number is 231-724-6721. When we get to phone in public comments, I'll announce that number again, and we'll have it scrolling at the bottom of the screen as well. If you are wish to give public comment in person, I encourage you to complete a public comment form at the back of the room. Please provide your name and home address. Note I will not be sharing your home address or asking you to announce it. That's for our records. I will be acknowledging if you are a city resident or not a city resident when we invite people to come up to speak. Complete the public comment form and hand it to our city clerk down there at the end of the dais. Now, we are going to start our meeting with prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you wish to join us in either of those activities, I ask that you stand if you're so capable of doing so. And we're going to be led in prayer this evening by Pastor Riley of the Crestwood United Methodist Church. Good evening, Pastor.
Good to see you all. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you this evening. We come lifting up our commissioners to you. We ask that you grant them wisdom to face the unique challenges of this community. Give them discernment to make the best decisions for the people they serve and the insight to see the needs of every resident, especially those that are vulnerable. Now, God, we thank you for wisdom. We thank you for unity. We thank you for allowing them to come together. They may have differences, but yet understand that the people are the ones that we're concerned with. We thank you now for unity, and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor. May we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Kilgo?
Present.
Vice Mayor Keener? Absent. Commissioner German?
Here.
Commissioner Jackson? Here. Commissioner Cochin?
Here.
Commissioner St. Clair?
Here.
Mayor Johnson?
Here. Thank you. We have quorum. We do not have any awards and honors or presentations this evening, so we're going to jump right into public hearings. Our first public hearing is on the establishment of a commercial redevelopment district for 1937 Lakeshore Drive. Good evening. If you kindly introduce yourself and please report out on this item.
Absolutely. Isabella Gonzalez, Development Analyst for the City of Muskegon. So today this public hearing is for the establishment of a commercial redevelopment district for 1937 Lakeshore Drive, the former Harbor Theater. So creating this new district will enable the property owner to apply for a commercial facilities exemption certificate, which is our next public hearing. If approved, the certificate will freeze the taxable value of the building and exempt the new real property investment from local property taxes. So the proposed redevelopment of 1937 Lakeshore Drive will convert the first floor into commercial suites with upper floors used for residential housing.
Thank you for that report. This is a public hearing, so we're going to go to the public first, take input, or any questions. We won't answer them immediately, but we will take any questions that people have, and then the commissioners will have an opportunity to address those questions or staff when we get beyond the public hearing and consider the motion itself. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to give public comment or give comment with regard to this public hearing for the establishment of a commercial redevelopment district at 1937 Lakeshore Drive? All right, we're going to go to the phones. The call-in number is 231-724-6721. This is an opportunity to phone and comment specifically with regard to the establishment of a commercial rehabilitation district at 1937 Lakeshore Drive. All right, does not sound like we have any callers for this public hearing. Commissioners, I would entertain a motion.
I move to close the public hearing And approve the establishment of a commercial rehabilitation district for 1937 Lakeshore Drive and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the resolution.
Support.
Thank you. And I just realized I was misspeaking when I was saying rehabilitation. It's redevelopment. So it's commercial redevelopment district. I'm already thinking about the. Yeah. Anywho, we have a motion by Commissioner Kilda. Did we get a support on that? From Commissioner St. Clair. We got a motion by Commissioner Kilgo, supported by Commissioner St. Clair. Commissioners, Commissioner Kilgo.
Thank you. I was having a conversation this week, and someone was saying, I wish that more older buildings in the city of Muskegon people would do something with instead of them just sitting there and rotting. So I personally am glad to see that the theater's not just going to sit there and rot away, that someone is going to redevelop the property and something good and useful can be done with the building. Thank you.
Commissioner Kilgo. Commissioner St. Clair, as a supporter, do you have anything to share?
Just that I agree. I spend a lot of time in downtown Lakeside as it is, and that building leaves a big hole in the community down there, and I'm very much looking forward to it becoming something alive again. So.
You're here. Commissioners, anything else to ask or add? Nope. All right. We do have right after this, we have consideration of a commercial facilities exemption certificate for the same property. And hopefully we'll hear from, is the developer here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when we get to the next item, we'll call them up and they can present on the project. All right. We're going to go to roll call, please.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next up, we have a public hearing on the issuance of a commercial facilities exemption certificate for the same property in which we just established the district at 1937 Lakeshore Drive. Care to report out on this item, please?
Yes, absolutely. So Lakeside Development Properties LLC plans to rehabilitate the 17,000 square foot former Harbor Theater into a mixed-use development. So beginning in April 2026, this project will represent a $3.6 million investment and is expected to host commercial and office suites on the first floor, followed by 2 floors of multiple condominiums ranging from 1 to 3 bedrooms and 1 to 2 baths. So the internal tax committee has reviewed this application and based on its findings and calculations, recommends approval for the attached resolution for a term of 8 years for real property. So the applicant has submitted all required documentation. And we do have the developers here.
Thank you, Analyst Gonzalez. Before we hear from the developers, I'm going to open it up to a public comment, both in person by phone, and then we'll close the hearing and get an update from the developer and address any commissioners' questions, hear your thoughts before we go to vote. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this item, aside from the developer, with regard to the issuance of a commercial facilities exemption certificate? Seeing no takers in the audience, we're going to go to the phones. That number is 231-724-6721, 724-6721. There's an opportunity to phone in your comments specifically with regard to the issuance of a commercial facilities exemption certificate at 1937 Lakeshore Drive. Does not look like we have any takers. Okay. I'm starting to watch the TV screen to see what the lag is, because there's considerable lag sometimes and it varies. And so looking to see for the TV to get caught up to where we are. Okay. No takers for phone and comments. Commissioners, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to close the public hearing and approve the issuance of a commercial facilities exemption certificate for Lakeside Development Properties LLC and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the resolution.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kilgo, supported by Commissioner Cochin. All right. Before I go to either of you commissioners, I'm going to invite up the developer to first present and share about the project. Kindly come to the podium and introduce yourself.
So I'm Joe Bordon with Randers ENC. And we'll field any questions. I just want to say we're Muskegon, Isabella's group, and everybody has been, and the Department of Public has been great to work with, and their support's been tremendous. And we're lifelong residents of Muskegon County, and we remember the Harbor Theater, and I think it's a neat thing that we could revitalize it and kind of carry some of that history into the present here. So with that, any questions? Fire away.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bardon. I'll give you the opportunity first as the motion maker, Commissioner Kilgo.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. I guess my only question is kind of a comment and question. The city of Muskegon is one of the leaders in the state right now as far as building housing, right? So there's low-income housing, workforce housing, high-end luxury housing. We're kind of building it all here in Muskegon.
Yep.
One thing I encourage all developers to do is, do you have any plans to work with local lenders or local real estate agencies or associations for the education piece so that we can, when your project's done and your property's done, we can fill it up and put people in there?
Okay, I'll say, yeah, we're going to use we've got a local real estate group that's going to help with the sell the condos. We're going to use local lenders. We've got a local lender that we're going to partner with for the final end user financing for the housing part of it. And we've got a lot of support from the community and just different people in support of the project. We've got a commercial tenant that we're in discussions with that's very strong and I think would be a good fit for Lakeside too. So yes, the whole local, and we're a construction design build company, Randers, so we're going to use local subs and all that for that component of it too. So we're going to keep the money in the area here.
That's good to hear. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear that. Keep the money circulating here and multiplying here in Muskegon. Commissioner Cochin.
Yes, thank you. First off, I'd like to thank you very much for taking on this project. When I was going through my packet and I saw your name, I was kind of like, oh, wow, I think I live in their old house. So the fact that, you're local, it's very true. You are very local.
Yeah.
The one question I wanted to ask specifically in regards to the lower half of the building, because I know everybody's been asking, is the type of retail that we could be anticipating. Do you have any idea of what that might look like, what you're kind of envisioning?
Yeah, so on the lower half, we've got a parking garage, okay, and then from there, we're doing a podium-style structure, and then going to go up with wood framing up above for the condo part of it, the housing part development. And down below, we're going to have up front, we've got, call it 1,500 square feet. That's going to be the commercial use. And yeah, like I said, we do have a tenant we've been talking to that's pretty strong, and I think will be good for, they'll be a long-term tenant, and I think that'll be good for the area, for the building in the area there, so.
That's excellent. Yeah, I really appreciate hearing that. I know that Lakeside seems to struggle a little bit in the wintertime, and so seeing something that could kind of perk that place up a little bit would be fantastic.
Yep, and the tenant that we're in discussions with, they're pretty, they're local, where they like the old Harbor Theater. They like that whole idea too, and kind of marrying the past and the present type deal.
I love that. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Cochin. Commissioners, anything else to ask or add? Commissioner German.
Oh, yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you for being here tonight
Thank you.
and bringing your business and keeping it here in the city of Muskegon. I heard you say you were a county resident. You've been here for quite some time. And how long has your business or your company been in
So
existence?
Randers, I could speak to an exact date.
26 years.
26 years.
Great, great. So,
We're located on the corner of Seminole and Henry there.
okay. So you're not new to this then?
We're not new to there.
Okay.
Two-story brick building, dark brick building on the corner of Seminole and Henry, just before you get over.
Okay, I know exactly where that's at. Oh, great. Okay, a historical building there. If I'm,
We've got that below that too.
okay.
We personally have grew up in Muskegon, went to school here, high school, and all that stuff.
Okay. And this is a $3.6 million project?
Yeah,
Somewhere in-
we're kind of finalizing estimates. We're into the design where we want to do a good job on the design so that we got that set, and then we'll get final numbers, but that's the initial estimates, yes.
And you're asking for an 8-year NEC incentive. Is that 8 years?
I think that's what the program,
That 8
8
years?
years, yep, correct.
Okay, just want to make sure, okay. Yeah. Okay, and you also mentioned keeping business here in the city of Muskegon, local workers, and that was one of my questions. You already addressed that. I'm very adamant about that when it comes to, improving any incentives. Also, I addressed, contractors, that we have an equal opportunity, process. I'd like to see black and minority contractors get a fair opportunity.
Absolutely. So we're gonna, we'll, obviously if there's something that not in Muskegon that we need to go outside for, we will, but we're gonna use locals and everybody's gonna get a fair opportunity and, all the subs, we manage the whole process with all the subs and so we'll have a lot of people involved in it and, everybody, will have an opportunity they'll have to be qualified, but yes,
Right.
100%.
Right. And I guess this questions for the city manager. How can we track that? Because we talked about this before, and we've had these conversations where we talked about equal opportunity contractors, and we have a lot of projects going here in the city of Muskegon. And the more we talk about this, the less I see minority contractors and also black contractors who are not getting a fair shot at some of these projects, whether it's concrete or other, jobs. So I would like to have some type of structure where when they contract with these businesses that we're giving these incentives to, that we have something on file. So is that something you can add to, or if that's something that we could
If I ask,
Put
can
in
you
process.
reflect on that, and we'll
Okay.
bring that up under any other business?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
stay on,
Okay.
on task with regard to this certificate.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
right,
revisit it under
Yeah,
any
yeah,
other
thank you,
business.
Mayor. Because I know we talk about these things, but, the data needs to reflect what we're talking about. So, and I'd like to see something like that. But no, thank you for addressing those, my questions.
Yep.
for me.
Well, thank you. Yep,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
Any other questions? So with regard to, you said you have a potential tenant for the front portion on the street level. Is it active retail versus like office space, or is it active retail?
It's more office,
Okay,
financial services.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
I was really hoping it'd be active retail.
It was too.
I guess the definition of that,
Stores.
Be like selling something, product, service. I mean, services would be financial services, but like something that is like a restaurant, a gift shop,
Right.
something that you're actually selling product to, and you're going to have a good amount of traffic, and it's going to be a pull. And financial services is going to have some people come down. Obviously,
Yeah, I
hopefully they
think
spend
it-
money at the businesses surrounding them. But,
and I think it will complement the rest of the development with what we're putting in there, and with the other retail near there, I think it's a positive. I think it'll be a positive. I think you'll be happy.
yeah, well, it'd be better than vacant. That's for sure.
I think
And-
there'll be a long-term tenant that it stays and it keeps things stable, a thing where you won't have a lot of turnover. And I know there is a lot of retail space available that needs to be filled over there, right? So I think it'll be I think it'll be positive.
Yeah, you're right. The dynamics right now is there are other retail spaces available, so it's not
Right.
a situation where we have no other retail
Right.
spaces down there. Okay, well, I really appreciate your interest in investing in this, and happy that we're going to see more housing come online and see that space activated, even if whether it's retail, commercial, or office space or not, just to see it being activated.
Sure, yep.
Overall. So thank you so much for choosing to grow with
Yeah,
Muskegon.
thank you again, and we appreciate all your support.
All right. Any questions for staff? Any final comments? No. All right. Roll call, please.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And thank you, Analyst Gonzalez. And next hearing, and our final public hearing, is with regard to the issuance of an obsolete property certificate for 1185 3rd Street. Good evening. Kindly introduce yourself and please report out on this item.
Good evening, Jocelyn Hines, Development Analyst here for the City of Muskegon. This public hearing is being held for an obsolete property certificate, also known as an OPRA or a PA 146, for the property at 1185 3rd Street. The property is currently being acquired and renovated by 3 local investors, Jeff Selowitz, Frank Peterson, and John Whidden. They will then lease the space to the end user, which is an engineering firm. The engineering firm will use the property for office space as well as research and development. As you all know, this space has been obsolete/vacant for quite some time. The investors plan to make some significant investments to the property, such as interior reconfiguration and build-out, exterior and facade improvements, as well as accessibility upgrades. They are looking at about a $4.9 million investment to the 21,000 square foot facility. They plan to retain about 80 jobs in the space, which will be a great asset to our income tax base as they promise high-paying jobs. An OPRA is designed to encourage the rehab of older, underused, or vacant buildings. An OPRA freezes the taxes at the pre-rehab level of the building. After consideration of the amount of investment, cost of rehab, and local ownership, the Internal Tax Committee recommends a 12-year abatement.
Thank you, Analyst Hines. Appreciate that report. This is a public hearing, so we're going to open up to the audience first, then we'll go to the phones, and then we'll close public hearing and consider the question at hand. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to give comment with regard to the issuance of an obsolete property rehabilitation certificate for 1185 3rd Street? Seeing no one in the audience, we're going to go to the phones. That's 231-724-6721. All right, does not sound like we have any takers for phone-in comments for this public hearing. Commissioners, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to close the public hearing and approve the resolution for the issuance of an absolute property certificate for 1185 3rd Street and authorize the city clerk and mayor to sign.
Support.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Cochin, supported by Commissioner Kilgo. And do we have a representative? Okay, development representative. Could you kindly come up, introduce yourself, and please share some information about this project from your perspective? And
Certainly.
outlook.
So my name is John Witten. I own Spark 43 Architects. I'm also one of the partners in the 1185 3rd Street redevelopment team. It's a pleasure to be back in front of you. It's been at least a year and a half, so we appreciate your consideration in this matter. Jeff, Frank, and I sort of stumbled into this project. We came out, we brought a commercial real estate broker out here just to show off the city to him, and took a look at the building, and there were a couple of conversations that happened that, hey, there's this international company. It's a $1.5 billion gross company a year looking to relocate. They were interested in Muskegon. Their representatives happened to be in town the next week. We scheduled a meeting, and it just kind of all fell into place. So as was mentioned previously, the project is scheduled right now, assuming everything goes forward the way we hope it does, to open in September. And at that time, there would be 85 new jobs coming into downtown Muskegon. The payroll currently represents $8.5 million of payroll annually, so it's a significant investment into the city. Certainly, I have to imagine the small businesses in and around the Third and Merrill intersection, Nelson neighborhood, are excited to have a bunch of new hungry people that are intending to shop and stay and participate in life here in Muskegon. And certainly, the things we were excited about showing off, they obviously got to see firsthand and agreed. So my team and I are really excited about this building. As many of you probably know, the building has sat vacant for quite a while. The windows are boarded because most of them have been broken out. I don't necessarily think that's all from vandalism. Part of it is because kids are using it as a backstop for soccer balls, so it is a part of life, and we're really excited to revitalize it and also honor the history of the neighborhood and this history of the building. So we're not planning to come in and do an ultra contemporary renovation on the building. We are really, really interested in honoring the building and its beauty and some of the grime we're going to leave inside. There's some great details about this building, and we're really excited to open it back up so that it's not boarded up. There's a lot of foot traffic up and down 3rd Street, as you guys know. And so we're just really, really, really excited about the opportunity it presents for the city. And certainly, between Jeff, Frank, and I, we're all committed in this community and seeing it thrive. So with that, I'd open up any questions you have. Couple things I want to mention. We are really committed to hiring minority subcontractors, and not only subcontractors, but engineering team as well on the design side. Currently, about 75% of my team as subconsultants are minority and women-owned businesses. So we're committed to carrying that theme through and encouraging businesses, not just when it gets to construction, before we ever get there as well. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Whitten. First, we'll go to Commissioner Koshin.
Yes, thank you. You answered some of my questions already, so thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, considering Muskegon, especially 3rd Street. It's got a soft spot in my heart. It's a fantastic little corridor. It's a great neighborhood, and that building there has sat for a long time. I had a conversation with our planner earlier about the history of the building, and they apparently housed cars there for a car dealership at one point in time, which kind of blew my mind. I didn't know about that part of the history. So, I think your plans to really honor the architecture of the building is important. It's not inside of the Historic District Commission area, and it's such a beautiful building. So I'm glad that you're planning on preserving some of that. Some of the other questions I wanted to ask were in regards to the plans for the actual building. So who's going to be going in there, and what exactly will they be doing?
So we have a tenant that has signed a lease, a long-term lease, 10 years, with the option to renew. It's going to be part of this particular tenant, who's not ready to announce who they are yet. That will be shortly, but they have 85 engineers that work on projects worldwide. So there's going to be 85 engineers to start. The building can accommodate more people than that. We've space planned it in a way that if this tenant ever leaves after the terms of their lease, we can easily reconfigure this into multiple retail spaces so that it doesn't end up falling back into the state that it has lived in for the last 15 years. But it is, like I said, an international company. It's primarily engineering team, but this company, a couple of the statistics, 26% of their workforce is a diverse workforce, and they are committed to continuing to hire diverse workforce. So the engineers that sit in Muskegon could be on a phone call with somebody in Southeast Asia, collaborating on a project that's happening in Central Europe. So it's a really cool opportunity for the city and to encourage growth, housing development here. I'm not sure how much else I'm allowed to share, but we have signed a lease with them. Obviously, the Oprah has a pretty big impact on whether or not this is a financially viable project for us, because we're not professional developers. We're really good at being an architect and a construction manager and a finance guy. So, we're not in this to just try and make a quick buck and get out of Muskegon. I think, as most of you know, we're here for the long haul, and we're very committed to this community and seeing it thrive.
I appreciate that. Yeah, one of the reasons I asked that is because there were some people who had reached out to me with concerns, and they were like, what's going on with this? Why is it so vague? Is it going to be another animal testing facility? I was like, I don't think that's going to be the case. Can you confirm that that's not the case?
That's not the case. No, this particular tenant does, they do industrial logistics. So the R&D space is, they're building some of the product that they would deploy at scale and just making sure that it can actually deliver the things they're doing within a warehouse setting. So there's no animal testing, there's no ethical concerns around, you know, pharmaceuticals or anything like that. There's no off-gassing or any production of chemicals. In fact, we actually just got our environmental report back. There is some remediation because it was a car dealership and a repair facility. There are some things in the ground that we are intending to remediate. It's not widespread, but a little bit is a little bit, and we want to make sure that it's right, and we get the ACMs out of there, the asbestos-containing materials out of there as well, so.
Excellent.
The goal is to make it transparent. We're not trying to wall this off and hide everybody behind curtains and opaque glass. The idea is that this really ends up being a very friendly and welcoming streetscape, and that people can see in and participate. And one of the things we're working on coordinating with DPW, we've had some conversations with Jake and with Mike Franzik already about, you know, it is an old building, and because it's 100 years old, there's no barrier-free access. And so we've actually developed a strategy to figure out universal access into this building that would hopefully also help some of the navigation on the sidewalk as well. So there's some really good conversations going on with city staff about how we can really make this a win, not just for the people sitting inside the building, but for the people that are, you know, moving around Nelson into Midtown and downtown, so.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Cochin. Commissioner Kilgo.
Thank you. I have some really good friends that live in the neighborhood. And just thinking about it, so you all are building, redeveloping the property, and then you're going to lease it out to this international tenant. I've been in the building, being in real estate, I've been in the building. I envisioned the building when I went in there. I'm like, this would be a great event space, right? It's just all the glass and kind of open floor plan. I'm glad to see, again, like I stated earlier, I'm really glad to see something being done with the building. Couple of questions. Parking. Are you all purchasing the lot across the street or have any plans for parking for the employees if there's 85? Maybe they won't even all be there at the same time, but if there's 85 just workers there, they're going to have someplace to park. And if you go down to 3rd Street right now, because one of my best friends lives on 3rd Street right down the block, you know, with the plows and the snow, it's not much room there on the street. Have you figured out parking?
So yeah, that's a great question, and it's a question that comes up in every community because it's really important, especially since the business to the north is a quick service kind of stop, right? So the real estate deal does include the 2 lots directly southeast on Merrill. So those parking lots, if you've been by there, obviously not in the last couple of weeks, but you know, the plan is to light those gently because we want to be really sensitive to the neighbors immediately to our west and immediately to our south. We've been in conversations with everybody. In fact, we've helped out already with some of the cleanup in the dumpsters to let people get things they were trying to get rid of. And the trees next door, the crane guy really wanted those trees down, so we kind of helped him out as well. But the plan is that we will accommodate employees with off-street parking.
Awesome.
You know, I can't guarantee you that if somebody's running late after their kid didn't want to get out of the house that morning, that they won't occupy a street space. I just can't, because we all know that people will take the path of least resistance. But the intent is to not displace people from their driveways or from street parking in front of their homes, right? We want to make sure we're being really good neighbors because, you know, we want to see this as a win for the whole community, not just for the people that are showing up between 8 and 5.
Awesome. And that's definitely a good start. Those kind of that lot to the south there could accommodate a good portion so that not possibly 80 something cars were on the street right there on that corner. So that's good. And since you're not the tenant, but you all may be in contact with the tenant, you know, being international or a company that's not from Muskegon or not from West Michigan, I'd encourage you to introduce them, and we're happy to make the connection here at the city, but introduce them to Muskegon High School, Muskegon Community College, the CTC, so we can have some future Muskegon engineers who may be able to intern or work there one day also.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that, but Ken James and I are really good friends from Muskegon Community College, so I'll reach out to Ken too to make that introduction. That's a great idea.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kilgo. Anything else, commissioners? Commissioner St. Clair.
Thank you. I would also encourage you to think about Muskegon Public Schools. They have the Ford Next Generation Learning Program that they've just kicked off, and that might be an opportunity for one of the academies. I love the 3rd Street corridor. Some of my very favorite businesses and some of my very favorite people in the world work and live and occupy that space. And I appreciate your thoughtfulness around trying to be a good neighbor and trying to integrate in a way that benefits your tenant and the community. I can see that there is potential for this to chafe if it's not carefully done. That's a big footprint to suddenly have occupied. At the same time as the old Catholic Charities building is being renovated, and I know you guys know about that too. So there's a lot of activity happening there, and I think it's going to be a blessing for that community and those business owners, as long as everybody is careful to move forward in a thoughtful way. So please keep that in mind.
Thank you, Commissioner St. Clair. Commissioner German or Jackson? Commissioner German?
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening.
Good evening.
A lot of the concerns and comments that I wanted to state have been addressed. I want to thank Commissioner Coaching for actually asking a question about what's going to be in the facility to make sure we don't have anything unethical or unsafe within that community. I know the former city manager, you said Frank Peterson, if we're talking about the same Frank Peterson,
We are.
who's partnering with you, was instrumental in redeveloping that area, getting the streets and some infrastructure there, so kudos to him. With this partnership that you all have and looking to revitalize that space or partner with this international developer, you say 80 full-time jobs. And as I think Commissioner Kilgo and Commissioner St. Clair mentioned about the schools and students at Community College, Muskegon Community College, I'm an employee there and I work with students as a student success coach, and I'm also a leadership coach. And purpose of my job as a leadership coach is when these students get out of school, that they have some form of career path to land them a job. And you talk about engineering, that's a real hot job right now. You mentioned several engineers. So it would be great to see some of these students come out of school and to be able to land jobs. And this is an opportunity or a starting block. So I'm really grateful for that. You also mentioned local contractors, minorities, and when I say minorities, I have to state that, black contractors as well. Again, I'm not seeing a lot of contractors that look like me, or getting jobs. And I have dedicated equal and fair process in my votes to make sure that I'm business friendly. But I definitely would like to see that, so I'm glad you did address that as well.
I can't remember, did I mention that we've already identified about $500,000 that's been allocated to minority and locally owned contractors already, and we're looking for more.
Great. That's great. And that's good news. So yeah, good luck on your project and your partnership with the city of Muskegon, and I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you, Commissioner German.
Yeah.
Commissioner Jackson, anything to ask?
No, I'm
at this
just
time?
super excited to see it continue to be developed over there on 3rd Street, and excited for the project and to bring higher paying jobs to Muskegon.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. Yeah, that is thrilling, the prospect of getting 80 plus engineers downtown. Not only bringing that payroll, I was very happy to hear that payroll number.
Yeah.
Even if we do just a 0.5%, that's a nice bump in our city income tax, which is very, very helpful. but moreover supporting the local economy right there on Midtown and downtown and having that workforce there. And I'd love to hear about the prospect of partnerships with our local schools and the intentionality of seeking out local contractors and local businesses to work with special attention to folks from marginalized communities that don't necessarily have those opportunities. And so I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that you all are deploying and moving this project forward. I'm excited to see that space get redeveloped and activated again and have such a strong workforce down there. So thank you, Mr. Whitten. Really appreciate you being here this evening, and thank you all for choosing to grow with Muskegon.
Appreciate your consideration.
All right, any final thoughts or questions of staff? No? All right.
I have one.
Yes, Commissioner Cochin.
Yes. I wanted to hear a little bit why this was recommended for 12 years versus the 8 years.
Understanding that the building has been vacant for quite some time and understanding that some of the investor company is local, we went by the rubric that commission established several years ago. That's what the internal tax committee goes by. So based on investment, local, what's some other things? I think investment, local, and I think number of jobs is what we quantify to establish how much we give to each construction project that we present to you all. So it's a rubric that you all decided on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, roll call, please.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeremy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. That concludes our public hearings. Do we have any federal, state, or county officials or partners in the audience that wish to give updates? We don't see any. All right, we're going to go on to public comment on agenda items. Madam Clerk, do you have any comment forms
I do not.
received? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to give public comment on an agenda item or items? You got public comment? No? All right, we're going to go to the phones. That's 231-724-6721. This is time for folks to give comments specifically with regard to one of the remaining agenda items.
Yeah, one.
Good evening. You're with the City of Muskegon City Commission. Please state your name and which agenda items you wish to speak on.
They hung up.
Oh. All right, maybe they were thinking it was general public comment and not just consent agenda, so they weren't ready to speak. All right then. Does not look like we have any public comment on agenda items, so we're going to jump right into our consent agenda. Commissioners, you've had an opportunity to review the consent agenda. Are there any items that you wish to have removed and given separate consideration and vote? Commissioner German.
Item E and G. And, oh, no, that's the same.
Yeah.
I have one more, Mayor.
Yes.
Item K also.
Okay. With regard to that, Commissioner German, do you have questions about restrictive covenants in general, or something specific with regard to each of them because they're both on the same topic, just different properties. And so just wanted to get clarification if you're looking just to speak on these workforce housing restrictive covenants generally, or if there's something that you want to differentiate between the.
Just want to speak on them generally and also enlighten the public of what's going on in that community.
Okay.
Since that resides in my ward.
Okay, if that's the case, would you mind keeping, just for in terms of expediency of tonight, the efficiency of tonight's meeting, would you mind keeping K on the consent agenda so we're not duplicating? If you follow me, because they're both
Those two
workforce
different-
housing restrictive covenants.
And they're two different developers.
Yeah, the different properties, different developers, but I was just wondering if you were speaking generally on it, we could maybe move the meeting forward. We can do them both. We can do them both. I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible with this meeting.
I understand. Make it quick. Yeah.
Okay. So you still want K?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Any other items, commissioners? All right. I would entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda minus items E, G, H, and K.
So moved.
What? Did we miss something?
I just didn't hear who pulled
I
it.
didn't hear H. I didn't hear H either.
Added
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
That was-
H was legal
Okay.
counsel suggested we pull H at the same because they're tied to G.
Oh.
They should be
Okay.
pulled at the
Then
same
you might
time.
want to be doing the same then for each of the others because everyone is a
That's true.
Is a,
It's a
is a
two-part
pair.
thing.
L.
Well, that wasn't
Have to
not
put L
the
then as
intent,
well.
but.
Well, I mean,
Well,
it's
the dilemma is if, because you're pulling item G, if we approve item H on the consent agenda, but for some reason we don't approve item G, those two are intertwined.
Yeah.
And so we could potentially be giving them a tax exemption without giving them the requirement that they have the workforce housing.
Right.
And so they're
That's fine.
intrinsically
Well,
linked.
Yeah, right. Let's go with item E and then we'll do G. And then I won't.
What?
Okay.
So
So
we're
not
not doing
K.
Okay.
So then we'll just do G and H because those are
Right.
tied together.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Commissioner
Yeah,
German.
just to get some.
So, I'm going to repeat my request for a motion. May I have, I've entertained a motion to adopt the consent agenda minus items E, G, and H. All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Kogo, supported by Commissioner Cochin. Before we go to vote, I just want to acknowledge that I did have conversations with our DPW director specifically with regard to item D, pedestrian warning system on Port City Boulevard, specifically with regard to the different components, the costs, if there are ways to defray costs or reduce costs even further. He explained the complexity of this and the components as to why it costs what it does. But we also had conversations around the need for pedestrian warning signals elsewhere in our city. And we spoke about some specific areas. And so those are things he's aware of. Those are things that he's actually been working on in different capacities and engaging our community. So I just want to acknowledge that we are looking at improved pedestrian warning signal systems elsewhere in our city as well. So if there's nothing else on our consent agenda, roll call, please.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item E, 1183 Pine Street Home Rehab Project. Commissioner German.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the selected contractor for the home rehab project at 1183 Pine Street.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner German, supported by Commissioner Kilgo. Good evening. Kindly introduce yourself and please report out on this item.
Good evening, I'm Rhonda Klein. I'm the Grants Program Coordinator for the Community and Neighborhood Services Department here at the city. And one of the things that I'm in charge of is the home rehab projects.
Okay. Thank you for being here tonight. And one of the questions, and just to also enlighten the public of what's going on with this this property here and the grant and what it's going to be used for.
You want me to, I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that. Just explain to you what the property is.
Right. And is this located downtown?
It's 1183 Pine Street. It's right on the corner. It's just a residential house and it's vacant and in very bad disrepair. And so the city purchased it off the foreclosed property tax roll, and then we will rehab it and we'll sell it to an income eligible family.
Okay. And this 2-3 3-bedroom home or?
Currently, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and we've reconfigured the floor plan. It'll be a 3-bedroom, 1-bath.
Okay. Is there a price point where we're looking at once this is rehabbed?
We have to stay, the house has to be affordable to someone who is at what's called the 80% area median income bracket. So typically, you can't really sell much higher than 185 in order to be affordable to somebody in that 80% bracket.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner German. Commissioner Kilgo, as the supporter of the motion, you have anything to ask or add?
I do, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much. So in the packet, it had some information that we received multiple bids for this rehabilitation,
Yes, we received 3.
and that one or possibly 2 of the bids didn't have all of their proper information when they submitted it.
Correct.
And then because all of our bids are sealed until after the deadline, we didn't know that not everyone had all their proper information until after we opened all of the bids, correct?
Correct.
So I did have some discussions with Mr. Manager earlier today, something the commission can look at in the future. If we do possibly in the future move to like an electronic bid service or something, maybe being able to have a pop-up window or something that says, hey, are you sure you submitted? Like, here's a checklist, so that everyone's bid will count when we get to open them. Because in this case, we picked one of the bids that was, I mean, they were all, well, 2 of them were relatively close to each other, but we would actually be able to have that competitiveness when picking the bid, because we kind of gave a reminder, but to everyone, that we need your list of materials and your, how much this
And
will
there's a
cost.
physical checklist in the RFP packet.
Is there?
Yep, and it's
Okay.
spelled out multiple times in the RFP packet
Okay.
that they have to submit a complete bid.
Gotcha.
And that complete bid, the second page, there's a list of everything that needs to be included.
Okay. Thank you. My second thing is do you happen to know, and if you don't know, it's totally fine, I can ask staff or the manager later, who all we put the RFPs out to for the rehabbing of homes?
Yep, the RFPs go out on the city's social media,
Okay.
just like any city RFP packet. And then we also, based on the trade, any eligible, like any contractors that are in the CNS approved contractor list, we send that information, tell them, here's a link, there is an RFP out in case you want to take a look at it.
Okay. So for the public to know, these RFPs, well, first of all, let me say, I know you haven't been doing it for years, but the city rehabs homes in the city of Muskegon better than anyone, because we put a lot of money into them. I don't want to use the words too much money, but just for contractors or people who know contractors who may be listening, the amount of money that won this bid was around $275,000. Is that correct?
278, yes.
So 278 on 1183 Pine Street. Which means if this was like open market and we weren't selling it to 80% AMI people, if I put 275,000, I'd sell the house for at least 300,000 or more. If I put that much money into it. Now, just also so everyone knows, part of that 270,000 is lead removal and asbestos removal, which
Yes.
those can be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for different stuff depending on what it has. So taking into account that we are doing asbestos and lead removal, we still put a significant amount of money into these properties that the CNS department rehabs. So I'm just bringing this up and saying it so that more people who may not already be on your list as approved contractors may throw their hat in the ring and be like, well, my team, we can rehab a house and make it nice and check all the boxes that need to be checked and get their bids in too, just so we can have a ton of competition and maybe even rehab more houses, especially if we can do it for a little bit cheaper. Now, I say that because I am super happy to hear that the city's spending more money than they have to provide a lower income family a nice house. But if we could do it for cheaper, then we could provide more families with nice houses, kind of thing. So hopefully the word will get out there and we'll be able to rehab even more homes. And those who put in the bid process, make sure that they dot all their I's and cross all their T's. So continue to do what you do. I really thank you very much, Rhonda. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Kilgo.
Yes.
And just to expound on the question or answer to the question about how we put out the RFPs or share that, in addition to the social media, we do have it on our website under the bids page, and then we also put it under the news section on the homepage, and then we also email it out. So people can sign up for getting notifications about any bid opportunities or RFPs. I know I regularly, because I've signed up just to make sure that it's being distributed, and so I regularly get those emails saying, "Here's a bid opportunity. Here's an RFP." So we try to spread it widely.
Sorry, I didn't.
Oh yeah, no,
I should
please.
have mentioned it gets posted on MLive too. If
Yeah, the
anybody
news, yeah.
reads print anymore, but that's the public notice is there also.
Yes, Mr. Manager.
And I just confirmed there's about 500 people on that email list that when the bids go out. So,
Thank you, Mr. Manager. And any other questions or comments, commissioners? No. All right. Thank you, Ms. Klein.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next item G, Workforce Housing Restrictive Covenant. Leaderboard family? Leaderboard?
Kind of tricky, let's see.
May I have Commissioner German? That goes to
Yes,
you.
thank you, Mayor. I move to motion to approve the workforce housing restricted covenant between the city of Muskegon and Jeff and Nicole Lee DeBoer, and to authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Support.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner German, supported by Commissioner Kilgo. Kindly introduce yourself, please report out, and let us know how to pronounce that name.
Lettabor.
Lettabor. All right.
My name is Jake Ekholm. I'm the Director of Development Services for the City of Muskegon. This item and the other item pulled off the agenda immediately following it are a restrictive covenant and resolution related to MISHDA's newish statute update, which allows for scattered site workforce housing targeted payment in lieu of taxes projects. So we've done, I think with all of them that are on the agenda tonight, plus the ones that are already done, we're approaching 70 to 75 units of housing, all done with smaller format incremental developers. So some folks are just doing one of these parcels, as you can see. So a duplex with an accessory dwelling unit, which is allowable under our recent zoning reforms. These have to be under 120% AMI. They can be targeted as low in rents as can be accommodated. These particular units, I believe they are looking to do the 70 to 80% AMI range for the 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom duplexes. So there's 2 units in the duplex, both 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. And the accessory dwelling unit is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. So that would be just under $800 for the 1-bedroom, 1-bath, which is comparable or below some of our multifamily 1-bedroom housing stock, such as Glen Oaks, Muskegon Townhomes, places like that offer that 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit in a similar geographic area. And then I believe the 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom units, which are 1,100 square feet, they are going to be $1,495, which is substantially lower than most of the rent for similarly sized existing housing stock. So, happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner German.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Director Eklund, for giving us an update and some insight on what AMI percentage that we were looking at for these housing, which was one of my main concerns because that area, I'm very familiar with it. Actually grew up on that street, so I'm very familiar with it. It's good to see some development finally happen. With the actual leasing options for the 1 bedroom and the 3 bedroom, are these duplexes going to have basements or anything like that on them?
No, I believe they're slab on grade. Yep. So
Okay.
they have a ground floor unit and an upstairs unit.
Okay. Will any of them have an alley behind them?
No, they're not alley loaded in most cases. Well, they are alley served in some cases, but they always have the accessory dwelling unit in the rear of the property. Yep.
Okay.
And for reference, I think I mentioned I don't want to throw any multifamily housing stock under the bus. So I did check the most recent listings on Glen Oaks, which is a nearby, and it's our largest multifamily housing development in the city with 660 units. And I think their 1 bedroom units range between $893 and $1115 a month right now.
Okay.
Which is bananas if you grew up here, but that's a whole other conversation.
Right. So, you said 70-80% AMI, and this is through the MISTA program.
Yeah, the MISTA
Okay.
rent tables.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner German. Commissioner Kogo, who supported this motion?
Yes, sir.
I think Commissioner Kogo.
Thank you. Director Elcombe, I'm looking at the 2025. I'm not sure if the 2026 MISTA limits are out yet. They're not. Okay, I didn't think so. The 2025 has Muskegon County, a 3-person, 80% AMI would be just under $60,000, $59,040 a month. Meaning, if I was a family of 3, I would qualify for any of these units that are being built in this pilot.
Yeah, when I'm explaining it to neighbors, I often kind of come up with scenarios that exist in the real world. So, two full-time employees making $15 to $16 an hour, or one, a single income provider household with 2 children can make up to $30 an hour and still access these rental units.
Awesome. And I don't know if there's a way for you to explain the payment in lieu of taxes in an easy layman's way, but basically that's what this program is. The pilot is a payment in lieu of taxes, and if you do it this way, you're promising to keep these rents at that limit, correct?
Indeed, that's correct. So, yeah, really quickly, an overview of a payment in lieu of taxes. So, most of us that own traditional homes, or even landlords that rent out traditional homes, we pay what's called ad valorem property taxes, or taxes based on the value of our property. Our part of this arrangement, in exchange for the owner and the developer having to keep those rents at those MISTA levels for the affordability period, which is 15 years in the case of these households, we agree to accept, instead of the value of the property, we accept 10% of the collected shelter rents, is how the statute defines it. So that equates to anywhere, depending on the format of the property, roughly a 50 to 66% tax abatement. And we agree to that in exchange for the affordability requirement on the new construction. Yep, for a period, as I said, it's 10% of rents for 15 years.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kogo. Commissioners, anything else to ask or add? No? All right. Thank you, Director Echolm. Mrs. Novak, do you wish to share anything with us before we go to vote? You don't have to, but you're welcome to.
Good evening. I just appreciate the momentum. It's really exciting to hear. I love to even just stay after my agenda items because I really appreciate the strength of the city, the strength of your support, and the ability for growth. I think that's huge to support the community. So if you have any questions, let me know. But this is a really exciting project. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate your commitment to Muskegon and growing with Muskegon. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next item, H, resolution for housing tax exemption for the same property that we were just discussing. May I have a motion? Anyone for this one?
Oh,
Oh, it's,
Oh,
well, I
oh, okay, which one is it? H. Okay, let's see. Motion to approve the resolution establishment for the workforce housing annual service fee as presented and authorize the clerk to sign.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner German, supported by Commissioner Kilgo. Would you care to report out on this for us, please?
Yes, sir. All the same stuff that I just said, but this is the other document that we have to pass. So they effectively work in concert and both have to be submitted to MISHDA to basically certify that the city has approved the housing tax exemption and that the developer has agreed to enter into an affordability period with us. MISHDA then reviews those, files them and sends along something, I think they call it a certificate of eligibility that they send to the developer. The developer has to share that with the tax assessor in order to get the units placed on what they call a special tax roll, which prevents them from being taxed ad valorem like most houses are and gets them into that pilot arrangement.
Thank you, Director Echolm. Commissioner German, do you have anything to ask? Or
No, that was pretty straightforward. Yep.
Thank you. Commissioner Kilgo, anything? Commissioners, anything else to ask or add? No? All right. Thank you, Director Echolm.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. So that concludes our consent agenda. We do not have any unfinished business nor new business at this time, so we'll go to any other business.
So, yep.
Okay.
So we do have a list of minority contractors. We're always looking to keep that updated. So if anyone has recommendations for that list, you can reach out to Kim in my office. I know you all have her contact information, or anyone watching at home, you can call the city manager's office and give that to Kim, or Dewana would be another source to get that to. So then we can provide those to people who come in who are looking for those type of lists from us. The Deputy Manager Mike Sell, Director Grant, and Miss Dewana Thompson and I have all been talking about doing some tweaks to her duties that would allow her to do a little bit more on the getting the word out about options within the city for different contractors. So that is something that we're looking at too. So,
Okay.
yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and is it any way we can keep track of that when these contractors bid or get these jobs? We have the data to back it up and to see the actual outcome of like someone that's doing concrete, get a contract, and we can say 2026 this on this project. Such and such company from or whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So depending on the type of contract, there are reporting requirements that come in for federal contracts and things like that. That's obviously tweaked a little bit recently, but development services and different divisions within the city are getting better at tracking a variety of different things through programs. Director Echolm will be, not specifically on this, but on our infill housing program, will be reporting out in the next couple of months about the success that we've had in our previous waves of housing, and including who's living there, where they lived before, and things like that. So we are working to track those type of things more diligently.
Right.
Yeah.
And just to follow up there, because I truly believe we have to be intentional when we look at who's getting these contractors and make sure that it's equitable and fair. Also, I talked about before a lot of these infill housing projects that took place, and who's getting in those houses, who's buying those houses. What ethnicity, and to make sure that we're not looking like we're gentrifying areas. We're having a fair and equitable opportunity for people to buy houses from all walks of life. So I'd like to see data on that also.
And that's exactly what Director Echolm will be reporting out on in March, I believe, is the plan right now, to get some of those questions answered.
Great. Sounds good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Durman. Thank you, Mr. Manager. Commissioner Coco.
Yes, on this topic, and then I do have one other piece of business. As far as minority contractors go, I know almost every minority contractor in our area, and I talk to them on a regular basis. And every single one of our minority contractors know that if they weren't getting a fair shot, that they could reach out to me or any of our commissioners. So I don't want. So I'm directing my words to the chair because we're supposed to direct our words to the chair, but I don't want the public to think that minority contractors in Muskegon don't get a shot. Minority contractors in Muskegon are so busy that sometimes they're putting off business for weeks because they're filled up. If minority contractors feel like they've been slighted, burned, been discriminated against, please contact me or our offices at any time, because we wouldn't stand for that if that was happening. As far as who's buying houses, it's almost like minority contractors, right? We have to continue to educate. We have to continue to educate people so we have more electricians, plumbers, contractors, just like we need to educate people on how to buy houses. We cannot discriminate on who buys houses, but we can educate the people that live, work, and already play here in Muskegon to buy these houses. There are new construction houses under $200,000, which you won't find anywhere else in West Michigan, but we have them here in Muskegon, and they're still sitting there, and they're just sitting there. We have to educate people who want to buy a house. Here's how you buy a house. And there's tons of ways to do that. I'm not plugging myself. I'm saying that between all of our nonprofits and different programs, like the Equity Empowerment Program and other nonprofits in our community, we have ways where people can learn how to buy houses. That way, people that already live here can get into those houses. You all know I preach about housing education all the time. It's not for any of my own benefit, it's for our community benefit, so that those people that grew up here and live here can buy these new houses that are going up. The train of construction is not going to stop in Muskegon. We're going to build affordable housing, we're going to build workforce housing, and those out on the lake, we're going to build that luxury housing. And every house is not for every person. But if someone wants to buy a house, whether it's a house in the historic district or one of the new constructions in the Angel neighborhood or in the Nelson neighborhood, we can teach people how to buy those houses so that our community continues to remain diverse. And if I may, Mr. Mayor, I have one other piece of business.
Yes, please.
At our last meeting, there was a citizen who spoke at public comment, and I thank her for speaking up at public comment. She didn't name names against me, but I do know that she was talking about me. And I was told that when I'm out at a public forum that I should not curse. I was at a public forum speaking about ICE, and it was a memorial for Renee Good, who was shot and killed in Minneapolis. Since that meeting, there's been another American citizen shot and killed, Alex Peretti. And I want to say his name and I want to say her name, because this may not be Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's Muskegon, Michigan, but we are still a border state. ICE does operate in our state, and they could be here in our city next. So we have to remain vigilant. We have to remain diligent, and I will continue to speak out. And maybe I can do it with more tact so that I don't hurt people's feelings. But I'd rather hurt people's feelings and use the language and use the words that I need to use to get the point across so that American citizens remain safe, so that our law enforcement, our federal law enforcement officers follow the Constitution. Why? Because our local officers here in Muskegon and our state officers of the Michigan State Police follow the Constitution and they follow the law. Our federal officers should do the same thing, and we have to be consistent across the board. If we only defend rights when it's convenient or benefits our side, then we don't actually believe in those rights. So we have to be consistent across the board at all times. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kilgo. Yes, Commissioner Jackson.
First, I would like to agree with what Commissioner Kilgo just said in his sentiments about ICE in our community and taking a stance. But then to go back to home buyer education, there is going to be a home buyer education class Saturday, January 31st, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Muskegon Heights Library. So that would be a very good opportunity for anyone who is looking to purchase a home to take place in that opportunity right here in our neighborhood. So I just thought that would be a good opportunity to bring that up. And if anyone didn't hear, I did say I echo exactly what Commissioner Kilgo said in his words about ICE in our community and staying true to who we are in Muskegon community here.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. On that subject, do you want to, this has been communicated before, it was communicated last year, just about a year ago, actually, a year ago to the date, to the day, January 27th, 2025. This was first shared by our public safety division and by our chief as well. And so I do want to share it again now. And nothing has changed in terms of our position on this. And that is that the Muskegon Police Department is not an immigration enforcement agency. Our police department has not had contact with federal agencies regarding immigration. Have we had any recent contact since then? No, we've had no contact with federal agencies regarding immigration enforcement in the city of Muskegon. The Muskegon Police Department will not arrest or detain anyone based on their immigration status. We do not ask that as part of stops. We do not enforce on that independently. The Muskegon Police Department does not check immigration status during any interaction with the public. If immigration-related documents are shared with the Muskegon Police Department, they will not be shared with other agencies or entities. And to quote our chief, the city of Muskegon is a multicultural and welcoming community. The Muskegon Police Department is aware of the anxiety and concerns surrounding federal changes in immigration enforcement and policy. Chief Kozel stands committed to protecting all members of our great community. We are committed to ensuring every person feels safe and supported when interacting with our department. This trust is critical. And that the mission of the Muskegon Police Department is to, quote, to serve and protect the diverse community of the city of Muskegon with integrity, professionalism, and compassion. We are committed to fostering trust, promoting safety, and enhancing the quality of life for all residents and guests through proactive policing, community partnerships, innovative solutions, and providing a safe environment for growth and prosperity. We do have that statement still on our website and in Spanish as well, so it is available for us to communicate and share that with members of our community to reassure as to our stance and how we conduct ourselves here in the city of Muskegon. But we are definitely a diverse and welcoming community, and we wish to continue to be a welcoming community and safe for all. Commissioner Koshin,
Yes.
did you have something?
Yes, thank you. I agree with everybody up here, and I appreciate you, Mr. Mayor, for reiterating what Chief Kozel said. I think that's something that's really important to our residents, that they know that the city of Muskegon is going to uphold the Constitution. They're not going to be racially profiling, and they're not going to be cooperating with ICE. We have enough on our plate. We do not need to add anything else. So I'm really thankful for that. I also wanted to mention and thank Ms. Kuhn and Ms. McKinley and several of the commissioners and Mr. Mayor for stepping up and helping out with the recent community outreach in regards to the unhoused during the cold weather event recently. The things that you guys did helped save lives, and it is really appreciated. There are still people that are at the church in the Heights. They will be there through Saturday at this point, and they have shelter in the evening as well as during the daytime at another facility and transportation because of this community effort. And I would love to see us continue working towards a cold blue type of emergency plan because as you've stated before, and I know I've stated before, climate change is real. It's happening. And part of that is extreme cold. And we are going to see more people out in those elements as we're seeing the economy slow down and some people struggling with housing. So it's really important that we have a plan in place. And I appreciate everybody who stepped up and helped.
Thank you, Commissioner Cochin. As was mentioned just now, the Covenant Community Church over at 134 East Barney Avenue will continue to serve as a temporary shelter through Saturday morning. If you want to help with that, you can contact the church. You can contact, there's a Facebook page, the Giving Table, and so you can reach out to them. They are in need of volunteers to stay at the temporary shelter, as well as breakfast this week. Like you said, they stay overnight and then go to another facility. So that is an option for folks right now. And then, of course, the Muskegon Rescue Mission continues to operate its men's shelter as well as its women's and family shelter. And they also have the Community Resource Center there. And they're always in need of support as well, whether it's resources, financial contributions, or volunteering. And so we do have opportunities in our community to step up and pitch in. And I really appreciate that we have such a kind and generous community. And we saw our community step up when needed, and it's community helping community, and that is beautiful to see, and it is a reflection of the magnificence of our city and our greater Muskegon community. So thank you again for that, Commissioner Cochin. And Commissioner St. Clair, I'll go back to you, Commissioner Gogo, but Commissioner St. Clair.
Thank you. I want to wholeheartedly support everyone's thoughts about ICE in our community and in our world, and the need for people to use all of the words available to them, even if you are sometimes uncomfortable. These are very uncomfortable times, and it's important to speak in ways that people hear. So I will offend people, and I understand that, and there is nothing that I can do that isn't offensive, because I will be offensive if I keep my mouth closed, and I will be offensive if I open my mouth. So again, I will use all the words available to me to speak out. I also wanted to let people know that there is another opportunity to help with the unhoused population. Tomorrow is the pit count, the point in time count. They are still taking volunteers if that is something that is available to you. I know not everybody is able to go out in the middle of the night in these particular weather conditions and tromp around looking for people. But if you have that capacity, you can go to the United Way website. There's a banner up at the top. It's very easy to sign up. The shifts are 3 hours. Expect to be outside about an hour and a half. So it's not all night, and it's for many people it's doable. I did get an email today saying that they are still open to more volunteers. So what that consists of is people going out into the community and doing a manual count of anyone that is unhoused, and that information goes to provide us with as close to an accurate count as we can get. It's never accurate enough, and if you are aware of places that you know that people are sheltering that maybe isn't widely known, I would encourage you to reach out to the United Way and share that so that it will get put on the map. But that historically our pit count is never very accurate because it's really hard to find people and there's never enough volunteers, and this always happens in the middle of the night in the middle of the winter, and it's hard to do. But it is one of our best opportunities to get an idea of what we're really working with. So again, if that is something that is available to you, it is tomorrow night. Runs from 9 o'clock in the evening until 6 o'clock in the morning. So
Thank you, Commissioner Zink there. It's going to be an adventure when you and I go out there tomorrow night. Oh, it's going to be cold. Commissioner Kilgo, returning to you.
Yeah,
Wait, before I return to you, well, we've already heard from everybody once then. So I'm going to go back to Commissioner Kilgo.
Yep. I just wanted to shout out Vice Mayor Keener for her efforts. I know that she has been cooking meals for some of the unhoused folks and stuff. So thank you, Vice Mayor.
Here, here. And also, yeah, because she was just doing breakfast over there the other day at the church. Also, wish to.
That's what you're.
Oh, cross. Okay, I didn't understand the word. I was like, what is that word? Anyway.
I got to write clear.
I do also want to recognize our team at City Hall for stepping up. There was a need with the temporary shelter at the Covenant Community Church. They have 35 to 40-ish people that have been staying there. There's a need for showering facilities. They did not have showering facilities at the church, and so they needed showering facilities. And so talked with our city manager and DPW director, Dan Vanderhyde, stepped up to make some of our facilities available today and tomorrow on this temporary basis for showering. And our public safety director, Chief Colesall, also supported that with from a public safety perspective. So I just want to say thank you to our public works, our public safety, our city manager for quickly coordinating to make these facilities available. Thank you.
And thank you to the staff who volunteered to
Yes,
stay
we
late.
had to ask staff to stay late for that. So thank you. I don't know which exact staff members did that, but please convey our appreciation. Thank you. All right. Yes, Commissioner German?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I didn't get a chance to say anything about the topic on ICE, and I share the same sentiment as my fellow commissioners. You know, we start our meetings out with prayer, you know, and I heard Commissioner St. Clair said she's going to speak up. You know, I feel that same way. You know, I heard Dr. Martin Luther King say it comes a time when silence becomes betrayal. You know, and I've always tried to advocate and speak up for the less fortunate, and I continue. You know, there's a scripture that talks about the immigrant. Matthew 25:35. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. Jesus connects welcoming the stranger with welcoming him. Then Ephesians 2:19. You are no longer a foreigner or stranger, but a fellow citizen with God's people. And when we start to pray and have godly-like minds, we should act like God's people. And I think the city is doing a good job putting that information out, leading by example. And we have to get people to come together because we, like Commissioner Kilgo said, we can be next. You know, I've met Attorney General Keith Ellison and did some demonstrations and some marches down in Minnesota several years ago. And I know what that area is like. And actually, I'm not going to lie, I was scared for my life, you know, but this is things that Dr. Martin Luther King talked about. A lot of the other leaders, you know, Malcolm X, you know, he talked about things that would happen in our communities and Gestapo tactics, and whether you don't care whether you're, you know, rich, poor, black, white, we could be faced with these same type of situations. So we really have to come together and unify as a city, as people, and support one another. So I just want to say I stand with my fellow commissioners and the city of Muskegon and to continue to work in the best interest of this community and the people. So
Thank you, Commissioner German. All right. Any last items to share for any other business? None? Okay, we're going to go to public comment. This is an opportunity to folks to give public comment directly to the City Commission, sharing your perspective and input. It is not time for Q&A. We're not going to go back and forth. We're not going to have that necessary dialogue. If you do have questions, you're welcome to pose them, and we can, you know, follow up. If you want to have a dialogue, we can also schedule specific meetings so that we can sit down and have that dialogue. But public comments more an opportunity for members of our community to speak directly to the City Commission and share their perspective and input. So I see we got a taker for public comment. Please
Yes.
state your name, and if you are a City of Muskegon resident, which neighborhood you're coming from, and if you're not a city resident, where else you might be coming from.
Eric Payne. I'm a resident of Hudsonville. We have been remodeling and had rental homes in Muskegon for the last 20 years. Currently have rentals in Ottawa, Muskegon, and Clare counties. Our construction company employs roughly 24 people. This is more of just a sentiment to chat about a problem without a solution. And you guys prompted me to come up here and just mention that minority-owned businesses are very important. I've taken classes at Davenport and Muskegon community colleges, but we are very limited on who applies for various programs in order to help them. I'm the past president of the Lakeshore Home Builders Association. I'm on the board of directors of the Better Business Bureau. And I think our problem actually is not trying to award work to different classes, it's trying to educate different classes on how to get into business. And it's not a Q&A, I just felt the need to mention that that is where we should be focusing some of our efforts.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. Appreciate you sharing that. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to give public comment at this time? We're going to go to the phones. That number is... Oh, yes, Mr. Riley, joining us from the Sheldon
Yes.
Park neighborhood.
Yes, Pastor Dwayne Riley. I just wanted to, sitting here, I just want to commend this commissioners for what you said about the situation and the condition of our country. And it energizes me to do more. And I just want to tell y'all, you're doing a great job, and I thank God for you, each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Riley. All right. Last call from the audience. We're going to go to the phones. That's 231-724-6721. When you're calling in, please turn down any audio in the background. State your name. If you're a City of Muskegon resident, which neighborhood you're calling from. And if you're not a City of Muskegon resident, where else you may be calling from.
We have a call.
Good evening. You're with the City of Muskegon City Commission.
Hi there, this is Angel Kuhn calling. I am a resident of Muskegon County, but I have my business downtown on 3rd Street. I wanted to just quick commend all of the commissioners that spoke up to ease the community's fears on what is happening at a federal level. And I just wanted to add some further context. I know that, you know, it's important to stand up for the people, but it's also important to stand up for the veterans. I feel like city government, you know, our government in general has long used the military as kind of a talking point, but now we're at the point where it's time to actually stand for what veterans were willing to give their lives for. And what I see is federal agencies violating constitutional protected rights left and right. In addition, it just came out in Minneapolis that the police chief went to Israel to train with their military. We don't know for sure what he was training or what he was there to learn, but if it's happening directly, I think I said it was Milwaukee. If I didn't, it was not Minneapolis, it was Milwaukee. Directly across the lake, there are police chiefs being propositioned to go to Israel to receive training from an entity that is committing a genocide. And so it's not only concerning for our people that are being disappeared or being murdered in broad daylight, but also for the military that you keep on sending off to protect these rights. And then we're just going to let the fascism walk in the front door. Our oath was to protect this nation and its constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I think that it's important to just have plans and be ready. And, you know, hopefully the law there, the legal representatives, can potentially have lawsuits ready to file on behalf of our people so that we can try to slow the administration down and stand by the people and stand by our military. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kuhn. Appreciate you phoning in. Or Miss Kuhn, appreciate you phoning in your comments.
Thanks.
I'm still taking phone calls if anyone wishes to phone in their input. Number is 724-6721. All right. Does not sound like we have any additional callers. Commissioners, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Kilgore, supported by everybody, to adjourn. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you. Take care and be well.